Yes, guys, hope everyone is good. Yes, I'm wearing a hat because my hair's a mess. Anyway, yeah, there's never a dull day at Leeds United. There's never is. And with the news of Jed Spence and Daniel Farke's press conference, kind of underlines that situation. He's not here anymore. He's not our player. Of course, when you bring that player in, you have an expectation of getting the best version of that player. That's what you want. That's the desire. And that's why Leeds decided to bring him in. Obviously, we've not seen the best of that player since his season at Nottingham Forest. Not before it either, and not after it. It was that one season where everything worked under Steve Cooper, where they had kind of the connection and the relationship to make that work for them. That hasn't happened since or before, and it didn't happen for us, unfortunately. And I think the situation is this: he didn't meet the expectations we expected. The injury didn't help. That slowed down his progression, and not only that, that allowed Arch Gray to stay in that place at right back. Jed Spence wasn't able to do enough to overthrow Archie Gray in that position. It's clear frustrations on both sides. You get a player of the ability and the talent of Jed Spence to come in, and he can't do enough to reach the level you require him to play. You're going to try find another person who you believe can do that. That's the situation. Hope Jed Spence all the best. I have no problems with Jed Spence. The talent is there. He's so talented, and I just hope he can just take advice from whoever. Like this is not famous to everyone in the world, you know. Take advice from people, listen to people, because when you have a talent, a raw talent, it's everything around it that can stop you reaching that top. Because in terms of talent, he should be, and in the fact he's not, it's obviously sad, and you want him to get to that level, and so do I. So I like him. I hope he does. I genuinely hope wherever he goes next. Hopefully it's not in the Championship and he destroys us, but wherever he goes next, I hope he smashes it. But yeah, he's not our player. We're moving on. This is a scout report on the player I believe we are linked with, and a player I believe would be good replacement for us. Let's get into it. Yep, and that guy it's Connor Roberts from Burnley. He's a right back, obviously. There's obviously a vacancy on the full-back area now. So I've gone with Connor Roberts. I'm seeing links with Connor Roberts, and simply just by looking at the player and understanding where he's been and what he's come from, he's a good player. He was at Burnley last season, played right back in the Championship for them last season, played almost every game at right back, was very effective and an integral part of their domination in the Championship. Brings experience at 28. And these are the underlining stats right here. These are like the underlining nodes of the player. 28 years old, so he brings that experience. Daniel Farke spoke about experience the other day. He spoke about it. And of course, if you have a player like Luke Ayling going, that does happen. You've lost Jed Spence. Connor Roberts kind of has that winning mentality in this league because he's done it. He also has the experience like Luke Ayling. So it's kind of a combination of both in terms of the age profile and the level he's played at in the Championship, because he was excellent for them last year in the Championship. Obviously, vast experience, as you can see. Is a right back, can play left back, can play right centre mid, and can also play on the wing, but he's a right back. 37 Premier League appearances as well, and 54 Welsh internationals. Little Welsh contingent coming now at Leeds United. He potentially might be another one. I hope so. I really like Connor Roberts. Good player. I've gone for his underlining stats. And one thing I always look at is total actions per 90. So he has an average of 77 actions per 90 with a 75% total action success rate. Now that is phenomenal at any level. That is really impressive. Really impressive. So for me, I saw that and thought, okay, this player must be efficient. He must be effective. So then I went on and had a look and watched him. Obviously, he's got 4 goals and 6 assists last season in the Championship. Games played 43. So played almost every game. Minutes played 4,881 games played. And if you look at his heat map, you can clearly see the balance the guy brings in both attacking and defensively. The positional play, the balance, the kind of ideal balance we need at Leeds United. So that is one thing we are kind of missing at fullback at times. We're either too defensive or too attacking. There isn't that ideal balance. This guy is that. This guy is complete balance. That's what I will say. Some stats right here, just really quickly. Again, this is 88% pass accuracy last season, all in all. But I went for long passes because I think this is important. And all these stats here are something that I identify are important for Leeds United, the underlying KPIs for Leeds United as a fullback that you need. in terms of passing and defending. Passing is important for Leeds. We're a possession-based side. We rely on build-up. Connor Roberts, and I watched some clips of him, is an extremely reliable player in a build-up phase. And I'll get more insight in a second. But if you just look at his passes here, his pass accuracy 88%, that's very good for a fullback as well. Especially one that spends so much time in the attacking third. Long passes, 47% accuracy, which is actually very good for long passes. Very good long passer. His passing range is decent. Passing the final third, this is one I liked. He makes around 6.5 to 7 passes in the final third per game, with a 78% success rate. So there again, there's that effectiveness in the final third to maintain the play and build up the play and create chances through building the play up in the final third. Something we have struggled with at times. Forward passes again, you can see it there for yourself. Very solid. Defensively, he's fine. I wouldn't say he excels defensively. I wouldn't say he's unbelievable defensively, but he's fine. He's solid. He's good positionally. He's very mature as a player. You know, he won't do anything stupid, anything silly. You know, he's a very mature and reliable player, and that's something that's so important for me. And before I go on to the player profile, the scouting profile, I just want to really say, from watching him from the eye test, some clear things that stand out for me is one, his ability to pass, but actually his smartness. So when he does pass it, the passes are always right. The detail on the pass is good, but then his movement in reacting to the pass is good. He'll find the space. He won't play on the same lines as other players, and he's very progressive. As a fullback, he can tuck inside. He does it often for Burnley. Obviously, that's a systematic thing, but it's good to see a player that is comfortable on the width or cutting inside, because as we know, we like to do that with our wingers. So good balance, and I keep saying that word. He's a guy who can easily slot in at any position in the pitch in terms of positional play, not in terms of where he starts. And he's a guy who just brings effectiveness to the side. A good, consistent effectiveness, not just any effectiveness, an effectiveness that is part of a winning team, is part of a winning formula that he showed last season at Burnley. And I looked at his stats this year at Burnley, and he's not played that much, but his success rate in the Premier League, like his successful actions, is similar to that of the Prem. It's in the 70s, which again just shows how this guy can just adapt to any situation. He's not the favourite at Burnley. He doesn't play a lot there because, look, the level of the Premier League is a joke. But when he comes in, he does a fine job. Obviously, in the Premier League, you need a fine job with that expert star quality, right, to stay in the league. But for us right now, Connor Roberts is an excellent signing, if we could get it done. For me, I know there's other names, and we're going to go through them in some reports I'm going to do on Joe's channel. There's other good names, but this is a proven quantity who's done it. You know what I mean? So this would be, for me personally, someone who I would be doing everything to get for this season, because I think it's very important. We also have that not just that quality in the player, and you don't want to drop in quality, also that experience. And imagine how good that'll be for Archie Gray and the other young lads. Another guy who's won at this level as well. Last year, won at this level. So here's a scout report. Technical attributes for a fullback in this system. These are the KPIs I believe. I don't know the KPIs of Daniel Farke's system, but key performance indicators. Apologies, that's KPI, key performance indicators. But these are what I believe they will be around. First touch and ball control, kind of just for any system, to be honest. Very solid, very efficient in that sense. Short passing, something I loved about him. It's his range of passing as well, but particularly short passing. It's always the right option. He always moves in a position to receive the ball after he's given it. He always makes sure the passer sense it has reason for it. He doesn't just do it for willy-nilly. No, there's a reason for it. Very, very smart player, and that's one thing I love about him. Recover rate, fine, not the quickest, but again, he's not silly. He'll recognise the space and he'll get back into position and defend centrally and pack out the edge of the box. Progressive ball carries, he's not quick by any means. He's not the quickest player. He's not the quickest fullback. He's not a Jed Spence type player. He really isn't. His progression comes through his smart movement and his passing ability and his ability to, progress the ball up the pitch by passing and moving as opposed to running with it. But yeah, so I give that's a 5. Technical ability is very technical. He's fine in that sense. Progressive passes, something I like about him. He'll take that risk to a pass. He'll find the ball. He'll play the ball through the midfield, through the defence if he needs to. He'll play those good passes with accuracy as well. That's an important aspect. 1-on-1 defending is fine. Nothing spectacular, but it's fine. It's not a downgrade on anything. Decent. Defensive positional play, very smart. Smart player. Has good defensive positional play off the ball. Very effective in where he stands and where he positions himself. On the ball, very effective. And that's the key word for me, the effectiveness of this player. Physical and psychological. Using his body to maintain the ball. This is important for me, especially when we are being engaged in a high press. And, there's two guys pressing him. How do you maintain the body between the ball in those calm moments to get out of that situation? Or to win a free kick in that situation. I've seen him quite effective at this. He's a calm player, doesn't panic. He finds the pass, he's sensible. These are all things you need in a team. Physicality is physical, is fine. Acceleration is alright, it's not that quick. I'll give it a 7 and a 6. Nothing spectacular. Doesn't need to be. Fitness 10. I can't dispute that. Played every game last season for Burnley, almost. So, played every minute when he played as well. So, a key player for them. Psychological. Psychological. Now, this is probably something that I think mirrors really well his technical ability, and that's what makes him ideal for us, in my opinion. Mentality in difficult moments. He's been in situations where, he's been up against it. He's won promotion with Burnley. He's had difficult moments in seasons. Even now, when he comes on in the Premier League, it must be difficult for him not playing so much, but when he comes on, he does a fine, solid job. His stats show that. But not really dropped a massive percentage from last season. That same with persistence. That goes with the same thing. Leadership. Part of a winning side. Don't know how much of a leader he was in that side. I can't lie. I wasn't there. I didn't experience it. But I'll give him a 7 because, he was a big part of that team and he had that experience. Calmness, reading of the game, technically, and thinking speed. All come hand in hand. And all a 9. He's very good at all of them. Very solid in all of them. Thinking speed, as I just said, smart player. He'll get the system. I believe he'll get the system straight away. He'll know exactly where he needs to go and what he needs to do. Concentration, yeah. One of them players, he rarely loses the ball in difficult situations. He's never slack. He's on it. Here are his overall things. Strengths, effectiveness, knowledge, ball movement, off the ball, passing range, experience, mentality. Improvements, athletic traits, not the most athletic player. Pace, again, and dribbling. Doesn't need to be, really. Some players, some technical B, physical A, psychological B. Overall, B+. That's kind of my ideal right-back replacement. We are being linked with him. Whether we'll get him, I'm not sure. But for me, that is someone who I believe Leeds could really go with, could really use. But add that experience in there. Maybe losing Spence and Ayling, the player who's won at this level and has the experience to succeed. Just like those two did. They've both done it. We don't want to downplay that. Help the squad, it'll help the team. He did it last year. He's been in these situations. Burnley underperforming at the start of the season last season, came through that patch and went on a crazy run. You need the players that have understood what it's like to underperform at a level and then come through that and express themselves to win the league. Top player for me at this level. Shame we lost Spence. If that had worked, that would have been unbelievable. It didn't. There's probably many reasons for it. But at the end of the day, the numbers didn't add up to what we wanted them to for us or for him. So it's probably best if we could get a replacement in quick. Hopefully someone like this would be unbelievable. Because we've lost Jed Spence. He's a key asset when he comes on, when he plays. He played recently, We need to replace that. We need someone who can come on and actually be a firm starter now for me. He didn't, but people say he didn't get that chance. Fine. I'm not going into that discussion. I can't be bothered. There's too much of it. Didn't work out. Happens. Let's hope the next guy we get in works out and we can move on with that. And hopefully, for me, this guy is one of them. And like I said, I'll be on Joe's channel whenever you watch this. I'll be on there. Or I'll be on it tonight if you watch this the day of release. We're going through more players in each position at fullback that we could get. But let me know what you guys think. I appreciate the support as usual. And I'll see you soon.